Make a woman open up. What do you do when she just won't budge? Stay tuned. Well, hello and welcome, my darling. My name is Arica Angelo, and I have been a dating and relationship expert going on 13 years. You're in good hands with Arica Angelo. And I help you become the kind of man that she can't resist while not losing yourself or her. You don't want to lose either one. You're really important in this whole equation. So what do you do when you need a woman to open up? You know, I'm starting to hear this from men more and more. It used to be like just the opposite, right? Where it's just men who didn't open up. But now you have a lot of men going, my wife is shut down. My girlfriend is shut down. This girl that I'm interested in, we're just friends, but she's shut down. How do I make her open up emotionally? How do I get women to open up emotionally? And I think that is a really valid question. First, let's talk about like why women and why people start shutting down emotionally. Also, if you are new here, make sure that you subscribe and you turn on the bell, because let me tell you this, my advice is real and it comes from the heart and it will change your life. So you do not want to miss these videos from me. So make sure that you do turn on that bell so that you get notified when these videos come out. So here's the thing. When we've gone through experiences in our life that have been hard, they've been hurtful, some of us choose to subscribe to the precept of, I just need to protect myself. I just need to get a little bit more guarded. I need to not let people in as much. The challenge with that methodology is when you try to keep out the bad stuff, you know, being hurt, people taking advantage of you, you also keep out the good stuff because that wall is there no matter what. And so people can't love on you the way they really want to. So you, if you're watching this video, you're like, yeah, I know. I'm that person. I'm trying to love on this girl. I'm trying to be there for her. And she just won't open up to me. Her emotions are stonewalled. They're shut down, Arica. Help me out. So this is something that I always tell my clients. This morning, I just finished a group coaching call for our group. And one thing that I always say, and I believe this, is that someone always has to go first when it comes to vulnerability. It's something that was modeled to me as a child. And I learned, you know, in my early 20s that if I wanted to have vulnerability with people, that someone had to go first. And usually that someone was me. Well, it's the same thing with you and this woman. You know, most of the time when someone's shut down, it's because they haven't found safety in being open. They haven't found safety in someone being vulnerable with, because in the past they've been hurt. People have taken advantage of them. People have ridiculed them. So they just stopped doing it because they learned that opening up is not a safe place. If you want someone to open up, if you want her to open up to you, then you have to understand that she is looking for a safe place to do that. And sometimes it's us going first and sharing our own story of what's happened to us, sharing our own story of something vulnerable that we've recently gone through. Dr. Brene Brown, who wrote a book all on vulnerability, she says that vulnerability is also, you know, emotional exposure, but also with boundaries in place. And so a lot of times, you know, we want someone to share, but we're not always willing to do it ourselves. And so someone has to go first. And so with you, I would encourage you sharing those little open things that happened throughout the day, things that really touched you, that made you open up, that made you scared. Being able to communicate to her that in a conversation makes her feel like she's not alone in the world. When someone doesn't feel alone in the world, they start feeling more safe. They start feeling more supported. Just this morning, I had a bit of an emotional exposure that I shared with my group of coaching clients. And I said, this thing happened this week in my life. It was a story I've been carrying around for a very long time. And it kind of came up. And so I had to get vulnerable with the people in my life to share that. And it's the same thing for you. There are things that are going to come up for you, and she's going to want to hear about those things so that she can trust you, that she can feel safe with you. And also when we see someone else going through something, all of the things that we go through secretly on our own, when we see or hear that someone else has had that same experience, for us, it feels like I'm not alone. I'm safe. There are other people in the world who are having these exact same experiences. So when you share those with her, guess what? She feels safe and less alone and more inclined to want to open up and share with you. The other thing is this, is your reactions to when she shows up. Now, this is something that a lot of people miss when it comes to vulnerability. When someone chooses to be vulnerable with you, how you respond or how you react can really play a role into how open that person chooses to be with you. So if they share something vulnerable with you and you yell at them, you get angry with them, you hold back intimacy from them, you use it against them 2 weeks from now, guess what? That person is not going to be as inclined to open up to you. Or in your character, if she sees that you're telling other people's business and you're a bit of a gossip, she's not going to trust you to share the very vulnerable places of her heart. So be a safe person. Be willing to go first in your vulnerability. Be mindful of how you respond and react when she's being vulnerable and open with you. And the fourth thing is, keep in mind your character. If you're someone who gossips or talks a lot of shit behind people's back, she's not going to feel safe with you. She's not going to want to open up to you. But when you do these 4 things that I've shared with, this is going to make her feel more inclined to want to open up to you. You being willing to share parts of yourself and also having the courage to ask her questions. What about you? Tell me a little bit about you. And if she just completely shuts that down, I always encourage men with this. Speak to the situation. Always speak into the situation. If you find her shutting down, say this. Listen, I feel like I'm being open, but I feel like this is just going one way. And I find it very difficult to engage in this relationship when there's just one way intimacy, when there's just one way vulnerability, when there's just one way of someone opening up. You know, it would really be helpful, and I feel like it would make things more enjoyable for the both of us if that went both ways. So if there's a topic that you feel comfortable opening up about, I'm really eager to listen and to know more about you. So if you didn't catch that, make sure you rewind the video and write that down. I've had many clients and friends always say, when you say these things, I just want to write them down because I want to say it exactly the same way you said it. It was said so beautifully. Well, guess what? You can pause and go back and write this out. So make sure that you do that, or we'll put it also in the titles. So guys, listen, you have what it takes to open up her heart, but you need to know this more than anything, that you, my dear, that you are loved. So before you go trying to give to this woman, understand that the precedence, what you work from, your base is that you, my dear, that you're loved. You're not trying to go out and get something. You've already got it, okay? I will see you in my next video or in my next live Q&A in my lingerie. I can't wait to see you guys there. You take care. Sending so much love to you from Bali, Indonesia. Take care.